Captain Nwafor, are you?
Yes, my brother.
Did you get the? I'm not your lord. Did you get the information that we had? I think earlier this week that some Southeast governors have gone into hiding as a result of the threat from ESN or IPOB. Did you get the information?
I think it was when you sent this team of the interview that I now started to know what happened. So I got the information, I think yesterday, clearer what has happened. Some that have gone to Abuja, and there's no need for that. There's no need for them to vacate their places.
So,
We have done.
okay, so the question, first of all, let's do the basics. The question.
Yes.
So it is confirmed that most, if not all, the Southeast governors do no longer sleep in the governor's lodge.
Exactly.
Mr. Nwafor, why do you think the governors have gone into hiding, first of all? What, in your opinion, will cause that?
I think, the killing of the mother, to me, the mother of Ikonso, yes. I think is a big blow. It's a very big blow to the peace we have been enjoying in the Southeast. Because left to me, the government have not come out. There have not been any news about any criminal activities by the young man, or molestation and otherwise, maybe banditry or kidnapping. Nothing has been traced to him and his group. I think those guys are just members of ESN who were only involved in going into the forest to pursue some of these dreaded armed herdsmen. I was aware when they started in Imo, when these herdsmen were attacking Imo State. I read in the news from Punch, from Sun, how our men were going into the bush and pursuing this forest, this herdsmen. So I think that is what I may say now is their sin, which I don't think warranted the governor of Imo State to go and bring in soldiers, because it started from the Olu incident, and then before you know it, he now graduated to bringing them to attack Ikonso, his village, and then the mother.
This Ikonso we are talking about, do we actually know who is he? Do you know? Do we have his background?
I never even knew about the man until he was murdered. It's really funny thing about this thing. These guys were silent. They were just doing some security work, selfless service on their own.
I just received the report. I received the report, was it yesterday or today, that it was Ikonso that led the gang that destroyed the Owerri Correctional Center, Owerri Prison, and then attacked the Central Police Station in Owerri. How far do you think that information is correct?
They're not serious. It's not correct. It can be correct. Even the governor of Imo State, who has all security reports on his table, he was on air that is not IPOB, that is a political enemy. We cannot take what the former IG was saying. An incident happened in the night. You flew in from Abuja and declared it was IPOB. No investigation, nothing. And if it were IPOB, how come there was no arrest? There was no death. There was no, even the preparation center, there was no gun attack on the walls and the gates. Nothing shown that there was any fire. So we are not more kids to be giving that kind of story.
Did you listen to the emergency broadcast by Nnamdi Kanu on April 22nd?
I think that one I had was one of this morning.
Okay, let us play a little, because it will give us a background to what we are going to say and what led some of the governors to flee from their normal residencies.
We are going to teach them a lesson that history will recall over and over and over again. This very period that we are living through, this very period of IPOB, this time in our life will be recalled in history forever and ever, because we are about to do something that will shock humanity. From 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning. I don't want to hear that there is any vehicular movement in Abia State and Elombah State. No movement of vehicle. Now listen, I include Okezibazu in it. Okezibazu, if you do not remove this idiot, if this fool, if one single soul is abducted from Abia State by this criminal, believe you me, hell and brimstone will rain down inside Omai. I can assure you of that. Nike is no longer sleeping in government house. He's running from one back. I will find him as well. This idiot.
Somebody somewhere and you know where he is. It could be in his toilet, something, whatever. It's not ideal. We can go ahead and discuss it.
Okay, what we want to do is, okay, what we want to say is that in this broadcast of April 22nd, Nnamdi issued a threat against all Southeast governors. And then he said that wherever they are found, ESM members are given the order to kill any governor. He mentioned them one by one. He mentioned Obiano. He mentioned them. He had a little word of softness for Enugu somehow, but he particularly mentioned Anambra, Ebonyi, and Abia. And now he said that none of the governors are still sleeping in the government house because they're looking for them to find them. Anywhere they found them, they should be attacked. Mr. Eluchie, what do you have to say with regards to this now that you've joined? Can you unmute yourself?
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, I am worried that we even broadcast this narrative from Khan on this program. I find some of his commentary very offensive and very unrealistic. This is a young man who has severally claimed things that he may not have the capacity to execute. One of those things was during the NSAS trial, no reason whatsoever, and without any iota of understanding what was going on, he claimed that he asked his foot soldiers to go and steal property, which was a bloody lie. It was a bloody lie because those of us who are on ground know that he had no input. And that comment from him put a lot of Igbos at risk. So at times, when you look back, you wonder what is the purpose of some of these outlandish comments. What is the purpose? The purpose to further aggravate the situation? Is the purpose to endanger the Igbos? Is the purpose to put some kind of schisms in the process? Because in reality, it cannot achieve all those. And what is making me worried now? Why I'm getting worried? Why I agree to be on this discussion is this: some of this young man is making has allowed for the process for fifth columnists for the federal government to have a leeway to destabilize the Southeast. It was such comments that he made that he ordered his boys to go and behead soldiers, behead policemen, very active comments that one will not expect from any actual freedom fighter who is seeking international recognition. He makes such comments, and then those comments are actually by terrorists. And the cause for which the Igbos are dictating, the cause for which we stand, is more of self-determination that we are marginalized. We are not terrorists. Igbos don't go ahead beheading people, threatening governors, killing people. No, that is not how the Igbo man does. That is not what the Igbo causes. So I said I was a bit taken aback when you played those the sayings of what he was saying, because what we know is that those comments has now created the foundation for some of the nonsense we see the federal government perpetrating in the Southeast.
All right, let's take it from there so that we don't, let's take this bit by bit. Okay. Mr. Nwafor, what do you think about this broadcast by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu?
You see, I've heard what the last speaker said. You know, when you look at what Nnamdi Kanu said, you don't just judge it for what he's saying now. You have to go back. It's just like in law. You have to go into the context, the full context. When IPOB started, how did the government react? How have they been treating IPOB? You understand? This young man was attacked in his town, inside his compound. More than 20 people were murdered. There was a church service in Elombah. Then, inside the church, you invaded the church against people and took their corpses. People were in Emene, you killed them. The mother and father were attacked, they are dead now. You see, there is a limit to which you can push somebody. This IPOB did not start violently. The government pushed them into violence. It's just like when Boko Haram started. There wasn't like violence. They were being political, being used by others. But it was the government by their actions, and then the inaction by our governors. Because I remember, gentlemen, let us be very frank. I remember when we used to have this militancy in the Niger Delta, they will kidnap, go in. It is the governor that will go, negotiate their release, and they are back. In the north, some men in the north will go and kidnap Christians here and marry them by force in the north. Nothing happens. Northern youth will come on air and declare that they will declare this country, they will bring out. The governor of Benue State was attacked. Some idiots from the north said that they were responsible. They made an anti-grazing bill. So people say that they will not allow that bill, that law to work. And we are in the same Nigeria. Those people are treated like kings. You can just talk anyhow and nothing happens to you. But this side, if you talk them, something will happen to you. Just 2 days ago, or some days ago, the Minister of Defense was saying that they were asking him, why are they not killing the bandits the way they are killing IPOB people? He said, no, that bandits, that there is what they call rules of engagement. I'm a military man, I know what is rules of engagement. You don't attack people who are not with arms. Then the bandits that are with AK-47, you don't attack them. But you attack Apobians or whatever you call them, who has no arms, who don't have arms. Now, who do you apply this engagement to? So there is a rule of engagement to handle bandits. What engagement did they use to kill, to murder Ikonso? Because I saw the body of that young man, there was no bullet wound on his body. So which attests to what they're saying, that the man was strangled. So why do you use different rules for different people? I think these are the things that have pushed Nnamdi Kanu to be talking the way he's talking.
All right, so let's take it from there. Yeah, let's take it from there now. To what extent are the activities of IPOB and ESN putting the security and lives of Southeasterners at risk? Is it enhancing it or is it risking it? Mr. Eluchie, what do you think? Has he left? I think we'll get someone else to always sit in for Mr. Eluchie when he drops out. Somebody who will speak in the line of his thinking, because I know that his thinking is not, and Captain Nwafor's thinking are divergent. Okay, he's coming back now. Is there anybody in the audience who can step in? You have listened to what the angle Eze Eluchie is going. Yes, Casey, what do you think?
Good evening, my brother, and the rest of the audience. Yeah. The last speaker who spoke, I support him wholeheartedly. Now, our governors will never speak anything to protect these guys. They should have gone when this thing started to negotiate. Look at what is happening in the north. Governors were going by themselves, paying ransom with people with guns who were killing people and kidnapping them. They never invited the military. So our governors cause these things by themselves because they know they are not there representing the people very well. So they want to crush them so that they will keep on sitting on top of, our money from the federal government, the money meant for the betterment of Igbos. Our governors and the elected or other elected officials, they're just messing it up. So they don't want any opposition. That is why they always call the military to kill these people. I'm telling you, the last speaker got it right. So the governors, whatever Nnamdi Kanu says now, myself in particular, I support him wholeheartedly. If our place is the southeast will be like the northwest, northeast, so be it. Then after it, we will not start afraid because we can no longer tolerate our political elite here, where they will sit on top of the people's welfare, for them only and their families are friends. It's no longer going to be happening.
Okay, well, thank you.
Look at,
okay, well, thank you. Yeah, we'll come back to you. Infinite Note 5. We don't know your name. Once we don't know your name, we wouldn't call you. So unmute yourself. Tell us your name. I will now rename your device, and then you can speak.
Okay.
What's your name first?
Evening.
What is your name?
My name is Sani Said. Sani Said from Kaduna State.
Okay, Sani Said. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
From Kaduna State. Go ahead. Okay, yes, go ahead now. Make your point.
Okay. I have listened to both speakers and.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm now seeing your video. Can you please put a shirt on? I'll call you back once you do that.
Okay, so
please. I'm so sorry. Just put a shirt on. I'll call you back. Mr. Eze Eluchie, the question I asked before you left was the activities of IPOB and ESN. Is it enhancing the security of Igbos, or is it putting the lives and property of Igbos at risk in Igbo land? What do you think? Mr. Eluchie, please.
Can I take that question?
Yeah, Mr. Eluchie, that's why I'm asking you. Are you back? Oh.
Can I take the question?
Okay, Mr. Sani, now you are back. I'll come back to you, Captain, please. Just 1 second. Okay, Sani Said, unmute yourself and then continue. Yes.
Okay, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And I have listened to all both the speakers, their divergent views and opinions. Now, I want to speak categorically on the issue of the insecurity here in the North, how it started and what we are currently facing, because I heard the last speaker saying that even if the Southeast is going to be just like the Northeast, so be it. So I will not like to pray for you, for the Southeast to face the challenges we are facing here in the North. And you can see that here in the North, we've been facing this Boko Haram issue since the administration of, is it Eradua? Yes, exactly. And our governors are not doing anything with regard to that. And there is no one to speak on behalf of the Northerners. Look at what is happening in Zamfara State. Every day, dozens and hundreds of people are killed. No one is speaking. Now, look at just what happened of recent in Gaidam of Yobe State. The governor is currently the national chairman of APC. Secondly, they have the Senate president is also from Yobe State. Also, they have the IG of police is also from Yobe State. And still, the issue of Boko Haram is still ravaging the country. Nobody is speaking. Up to now, none of their speakers, their elected members in the Senate or House of Assembly are speaking on their behalf. Now, just come to think of Kaduna State, my state. Of recent, students were kidnapped from Greenfield University. Others, and earlier this month, some students were also kidnapped from Institute of Forestry and Mechanization. The governor said he is not going to negotiate or pay ransom on behalf of any student. Since the bandits, whenever they are paid ransom, they usually equipped themselves, they armed themselves. So he is not going to pay. So when we are making a statement, we should not be generalizing it.
Thank you very much. I like you. I like what you've just said, Sani.
Support of these kidnappers in one way or the other.
All right.
Lastly, I just please, sir, just a second.
Yes.
Sometimes when the Southerners are talking, they keep tagging all Northerners or Fulanis as criminals. That is not so. Just because 5 or 10% or even 20% of a particular ethnic group are criminals in nature doesn't generalize. just because there are certain Yahoo boys among the Igbo, you cannot generalize that.
You are making a very good point, Asani, and please don't go. We will come back to what ESN actually is fighting. On that point, we will now take this your point because it's very, very, very important. Please.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Just don't go. We'll come back to that point.
Thank
Captain Nwafor, what do you think? Is ESN IPOB activities, is it jeopardizing security in Igbo land or is it enhancing it?
This question is very tricky because we are now having two circumstances. If it were when they started, it would have been a different thing. But if it is now, it is a different thing.
No, we are talking about now, at this point.
I'm going to take the two, both then and now.
Okay.
I think the activities of ESN was purely formed to go to the forest and deal with the armed herdsmen who are spoiling the names of the real herdsmen we know in Igbo land. We know the herdsmen who stay in Amansi. I started in music, okay? We have stayed with herdsmen for years. Some of them are very friendly. But of recent, we start having the negative part of it. You understand? And if you listen to what happened in Bonny, the governor said that the herdsmen or the good herdsmen or whatever, they left before this armed herdsmen entered, which creates another problem for you again. Are these people working together? You understand? So the ESN, I don't see the activities as being inimical to the Southeast. They are doing what they are supposed to do to flush out criminals from the forest. In Ondo State, the governor of Ondo State made that law. A son, not that human being, a learned man, a senior of Nigeria, that nobody should live inside forest. And no human beings don't live inside forest. When we go to the north or south or west, Igbo man, he rents a house. He rents a house, pays rent, and stays there. When you come to the east, you don't go to the forest and stay. We have houses. We're not like in rooms where you will stay. So these guys, we are not doing anything inimical. It is how what the governors now did, because when the governors of the Southwest started Amodeku, it was not even functioning well. Sunday Boho rose. Sunday Boho is like Nnamdi Kanu. Sunday Boho rose, and they are still protecting him till today in the Southwest. In our own, our governors will be going up and down, be killing their own people. The ESN, to me, are not doing anything inimical. They are only in the forest. They have not come to the market to disturb anybody.
Okay. Do you agree? Do you agree that the members of ESN, do you agree with the police that it is the members of ESN that attacked Owerri prison and then attacked the Central Police Station?
They are lying.
Good. Okay, thank you. Is it the ESN that attacked Hope Uzodimma's house?
The IPOB has denied that they did not attack Hope Uzodimma's house. Okay.
What happened in Ebariam, I think was it 2 days ago? Was it ESN that carried out those attacks in Anambra State?
No evidence.
No evidence. Thank you. Eze Eluchie, now we come to you. The activities of ESN in Igbo land, is it enhancing security or jeopardizing security?
Now, when you talk about ESN, you really begin to wonder, what is the ESN? It was an announcement on radio and some pictures on social media that showed some people training and all that stuff. So whether it is in existence is another issue.
Well, I think the debate has passed that point because Ikonso, at least I had what's his name, Nnamdi Kanu, say that Ikonso is their commander in the east.
Good.
So, and they haven't denied that Ikonso is a leader of ESN.
What I'm trying to establish is this: yes, there are some men who are together under that appellation. Yes, but whether it has the reach to be present in all the eastern states, all the areas across the states, the structure is what we are not aware of. It's still an amorphous organization. So being an amorphous organization, you begin to wonder, does it have the capacity that it's acclaimed, that it's been accorded it? Because you ask some questions. Are they able to do the various things that have been attributed to it? Severally. Even the IPOB, the Mr. Kanu has denied those things that the police are alleging against the ESN. Because when you claim you can do this, you can do that, you can, and when reality begins to speak, and those things are brought to you that, okay, you say you have this militia in the bush and they're all over, then you did A, B, C, D. You see automatically there's an effort to say, no, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. We didn't do this. You have portrayed yourself as having that capacity. And you cannot, it becomes more difficult to deny those things that are being alleged against you. That's what I'm trying to say. You asked about the prison jailbreak, whether an ESN or whatever is capable of doing it. The answer is no. If aware of the geography of Owerri, the prisons and the state police headquarters and the governor's house are within a walking distance of each other. They actually share borders. So if anybody can go into a prison, the prisons, release over 1,800 inmates, and they all walk out to that place, nobody is, not even a police officer is shot, not a prisoner is shot, not a prisoner is shot, not any of the attackers is shot. You begin to wonder who actually created that act. Was it the government itself and now trying to blame ESN? Or was it, but certainly it cannot be an amorphous organization that will go in and tell the police, don't shoot, tell the prison warders, don't shoot, and they don't shoot anybody. That same, on that same day, the police headquarters was attacked in Imo State. Attacking the police headquarters is a bit odd, because if you are aware of the level of armory and the ammunition that is in any police headquarters, you will agree with me that it's not something that an amorphous organization like ESN could have undertaken. In my own thinking, there is only one person or only one authority capable of undertaking such very drastic action. And it's not an amorphous organization, it is a state agent. Because if you understand what happened in Owerri, the prisons authorities, the police authorities, the military authorities.
Mr. Eluchie.
Yes, so in a nutshell, let me learn. In a nutshell, so much has been attributed to this ESN. And like I said from my initial comment, those attributes being accorded it are with a ploy to set up the Southeast for what is coming in the next couple of days.
But you are saying accorded. What about the ones that Nnamdi Kanu has already accepted? What about the threat he has issued? What about all the threats he has now issued about the... I'm talking about, okay, forget about Owerri. Owerri happened almost 2 weeks ago. We are talking about this week now. If you are listening to all Nnamdi Kanu's speech this week,
I don't listen to it.
Sorry?
Yes. I don't listen to his speeches.
So if you don't listen, that's what I'm saying. The man, after Owerri, all of us said, after Owerri, all of us said, no, this is not ESN. Fine.
Yes.
But then after Owerri, there have been several other attacks, which they have not denied any subsequent attacks after Owerri. He has even issued more threats. Evans will do this, will do this, will do that.
Dan, now I want you to try to go through this process with me. In all those attacks at even the police station, when the police stations are bombed, you hardly get any casualties. It's like a game is being played somewhere. Policemen leave this place, we're coming to bomb it, and then you come and bomb it, and nobody dies, nobody's killed. If a real militia was going in to do that, with casualties in their thousands, in their hundreds, what I to look beyond the box. Think beyond the box. If something is on the beyond, I mean, people who are energizing and claiming it done. And I want you to forget the critical example of NSAS protest. This young man was claiming that he's
Mr. Eluchie, Mr. Eluchie, in the Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast that I listened to, he said, people are saying we are attacking policemen and security men. He said no. That the people we are attacking are the Fulani agents who are coming as armies and policemen and kidnapping and killing our boys. He said it.
Okay, so in other words, he's not the one attacking stations.
No. Understand his logic. He's not denying that they're killing policemen or police. He is saying that the policemen and army they are killing are Fulani Janjaweeds. acting as police and army, kidnapping and killing IPOB boys. And therefore, he said the real policemen will stand on the road. But those other policemen that arrest them and they kill them are not real policemen, but they are agents of the Fulani.
You see, my worry is this.
Yes.
The issue of the Igbo quest for self-determination, supersedes any individual. And you know, just like I said, that once you begin to veer into the realm of terrorism, of hits, of beheadings, you lose stature, you lose respect, you lose any equity you would have garnered in the international community. That is why there must be a distance.
Let's listen to Captain Nwafor. Captain, do we have any doubt in our mind that ESN is carrying out attacks on the security forces in the Southeast? Is it in doubt? What do you think?
First of all, like the last speaker said, I don't know the capacity of the ESN to really go into such attacks. But sometimes when you hear Nnamdi Kanu talk, in some of his tapes, it will appear as if they have the capacity, or even more than the capacity. So I think it's at this stage that this is the stage where I believe that the governors ought to have stepped in. They ought to have stepped in because I know the IPOB has they have what they call a customary government and elders. There are elders at the platform IPOB. People like late Ezozobu, people like late I've forgotten his name.
If I know, sorry, please let's be clear. Yeah. This present IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu is now so far apart from the main IPOB.
I understand what you're saying. But
they are no longer working with the customary IPOB government. The customary IPOB government has denied them. So Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB is now different from the customary IPOB we know.
There must still be a way to reach.
How?
There must still be a way to reach. This is exactly something. There must still be a way to reach, no matter how invisible the person may seem to be. Even a madman has someone that he listens to. In Igbo land, they say, even a madman has somebody that when he talks, he listens to. It's something that you have to really get down to. Before even to get to Boko Haram leader to negotiate with them, it's not easy. But we are doing it in the north, trying to talk.
Okay, let's move on to that. Let's move on to that level. Right. Now, IPOB claimed to be fighting Fulani invaders in the Southeast. That is what he's saying, and that is why I'm happy that Sani is here. Is it real? This threat of Fulani invasion of the Southeast, how real is it?
It is real. It is real. There was a United States a report that it's not what it's about. It's not Fulani. Just like what Said said, let us not generalize that is Fulani. Understand? There is that report that the bandits, the Boko Haram extremists, are moving down south. It's not in doubt. There was that report that they were moving down south, and the government did not deny it. But the issue is that the government, what did you do to forestall them moving down south? And when that happened, the governors in the south now started to prepare themselves against such things. You now hear about a coup, you hear something go, even though before they came, it was already late, but these men have been crossed. Then you come to our southeast here, nobody is doing anything. The place was just vacant. There was a great vacuum, and that is where I blame the governors.
Okay, we'll come to the
situation.
We'll come to the governor's angle. Mr. Eluchie,
the actual movement of the bandits.
Okay, Mr. Eluchie, what do you think? How real is this supposed threat of Fulani invasion of Igbo land? What do you think?
Well, we all lived for centuries, and I don't think Fulani per se went into themselves. I mean, they're very good people, full and peaceful. The problem we have in the country presently is that, like I've kept on saying, that we have an individual around him who's an religious being who just happens to be black. He has that jihadist mindset, and is now putting the Fulani race in this spot. So it's just the same group that this Kabbalah have an agenda, and that agenda is real. It's real, and you can see it manifesting across the country. You can see rap, you can see ethnic cleansing going on in Benin and Adawa. They have been involved in real ethnic cleansing. And this ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing is when you remove the original indigenous and you now occupy it. And the people on the land in IDP camp, because the entire Benin population, apart from those in Nkodi and IDP camp, likewise Borno and other areas. And when the land they have left, who is there? Who are the people that have occupied it? It is this Fulani henchmen, mostly even outside the country. So with regards to an agenda by the current government, Muhammadu Buhari, yes, there's a Fulanization agenda, and it is playing out in our very eyes. Now,
okay, thank you. Let's hear Sani at this point. If you, Sani,
so let me just clarify. It is not against the Northerners who are involved in this. It's just one particular group, the individuals who is in the country. So Sani, you can go ahead. I don't want to clarify that it's not the entire Northern. I'm very much aware of Nigeria. It is not the Hausas, it's not the Huns, it's not the Catholics. It is just some aspect of Fulani who have that mindset for jihadist mentality and they want to occupy.
Okay, Sani, what do you think?
You see, first of all, I want to talk on the issue of the legality of even the ESN, because to me, I don't see it as a legal organization, unlike the Amatekun, which is supported by all the governors of the Southeast, the Southwest. The issue of ESN is not legally operational, even in the Southeast, because these people just sprung up one day operating in the bushes with guns. Where do they get that guns? Where did they get the permission to even operate in those bushes? That is a first question we need to ask ourselves. I am not against people defending themselves, but we should do it in a legal way. Of recent, I saw the governor of Ebonyi State inaugurating a local security outfit that is known and legalized, which can operate and secure the lives of the people. But in the case of this ESN, which is solely handled by Nnamdi Kanu, to me is not legally operating. Now, let's come back to the issue of the he call it the issue of Fulanization of
people call it Fulanization.
Fulanization, or
what do you think?
Whatever they target.
What do you think about that one?
You see, whenever I had an educated fellow talking of this, I just laugh at it. Just look at the nature of our country. No single individual can just stand one day and said he want to make Nigerians to all of them to be Muslims or to be Christians. Currently the vice president of Nigeria, who happens to be a senior advocate of Nigeria and a renowned pastor, is the vice president of Nigeria. So how do you expect Buhari to influence him to an extent that this country will be Fulanized? That's not possible. That's not possible. Buhari is not even physically and mentally fit to think that way. We all know that Buhari is not okay. He is just someone who is there, but the people operating the country are unknown. So I think we should just keep this aside.
Okay, Mr. Sani, at this point, there is one question I asked in a forum yesterday about this so-called Fulani agenda. The question is it really Fulanization or Islamization, or is it a particular people using their ethnicism to try to dominate others? In other words, is it ethnic domination, Fulani domination, or religious domination? Or is it Fulanization or Islamization? I don't know whether, do you notice the distinction between these two words?
Look, yes. And the problem is that most people from Southwest and Southeast are yet to differentiate between the two. When you said Fulanization or Fulani agenda, it is just based on ethnic sentiment. Most of these Fulani don't even know what Islam is. They are people that were born and brought up in the bush. And as far as you can go back to history, you will notice that these Fulani are nomads. They go from one place to another. They don't have a particular state or location that you will find them dominantly in that place.
We'll come back to this. Okay, we'll come back to this. Now let's go to Captain. Captain, what do you think about this question? Is it, Sandy, we'll come back to you, please.
Okay.
When people talk about Fulanization, is it a few Fulanis in government trying to use their ethnicity to dominate others? Or is it, like some people fear, a countrywide agenda to conquer the people? Do you see the difference between the two?
Yes, there is slightly no difference. But let me reply to what you said about the issue of illegality of PSF. Let you understand that we have Sunday Igbo in the Southwest, and we know how the government reacted when Amoteku was being formed. They never took it up to now. They are still attacking Amoteku people. I mean, Lagos, they still attack Amoteku people when they are operating, this police and the military men. So it's not as if that when you form it, they will leave you. There is this agenda. The Sunday Igbo that is in the Southwest, the governors protect him. Massive protection. They have gone to arrest him many times, but they can't because people are with him. Having said that, on the issue of people flying, it is real. The government, if it is not real, Buhari government made it to look real. You cannot come into a government in a country where you have more than 250 ethnic groups, and you select all your service chiefs from one particular ethnic group. Apart from that service chiefs, you select all the security agencies from customs to immigration to everywhere for one particular ethnic group.
Casmir, that is the point I'm trying to make. That is the point I'm asking. Is it ethnic domination? You know, there's difference between you want people. No. Wait. Let me explain. Let me so that you not come back. Let me give an example. For instance, when Obasanjo was the head of state, our president, the IGP was a Yoruba, central bank governor Yoruba. A lot of strategic issues headed by Yoruba. When Jonathan was in power, we see how also he empowered Ejo, the people of the Ejo ethnic group, from his people. People also point out that before the Civil War, the Igbos were dominating large areas of the civil service, government, the military, and police. So the question is it a question of, is it a question of ethnic domination? Or that is ethnic domination where people of a particular ethnic group will seek to dominate large sections of the government? Or is it a question of people of one ethnic group going to conquer other people and take over their place, or even make them to be Islam, force them to be Muslims or Christians? Do you see the difference between the two?
I see the difference. What I'm seeing, you cannot see the second part you're talking about glaringly. Okay. But what I'm seeing glaringly is the domination by a particular ethnic group. Now, when you open the borders, like when I was in Kano, okay, when they open borders for people from Nigeria to come in and vote, what are you trying to do? You are trying to dominate others. When you move your people from one place to another to go and occupy in the name of Ruga, you are dominating. You can't tell me that I can go to my place in the south and I'll give you land by force. Headsmanship is a private business.
Okay, let's hear from.
So what I'm saying is that it is a plot. There's that plot to dominate and may lead to colonization, okay, which we are not seeing.
Okay. Mr. Obed, what do you think? Can you unmute yourself?
Thank you very much. I actually, as a student of history, I want to remind us of what happened in Kwara, the present day Kwara, when Afonja invited the Fulanis to help him. And at the end of the day, they conquered. Their mission was to come and assist him to war. But at the end of the day, they came and took over Kwara and Islamized Kwara state. Kwara now is now an emirate, state. Is now a Fulani controlled state. So when we talk about this Islamization, and there's no difference between Islam and domination in everything they do, because they go, politics and religion to them is the same. You cannot separate politics from Islam. You cannot separate Islam. That's why even if you go to the United Arab Emirates, politics and Islam, they go hand in hand, including trade, commerce, because the three instruments that they use to expand their territory is either they go with trade, commercial activities, or they go with politics, or they come as maybe violence, conquest. That's when they have tried other means. If it doesn't work, if they know that they can conquer you. I mean, look at what is happening today in Kaduna State. Kaduna used to be a liberal state, so to speak, but El-Rufai has made it. Originally, Said is from Kaduna. Said would confirm that El-Rufai is not originally from Kaduna, but his parents, they came to Kaduna. Yes, he's okay. You have settled in Kaduna. You became a governor of Kaduna State. What you're doing now is to make sure that the Christians, the people that used to have say in Kaduna, the Kavanchan area, they don't have say anymore. They are not represented in your government. They are not represented in your government. The other day, I mean, I think it was about a couple of years ago, the chief that was murdered, one of the Christian area, one of their chiefs died. And up to now, El-Rufai had refused to recognize the new chief, but he was quick to appoint a new emir. So these are things, they are making it glaring to us that, yes, they are not, I mean, what we are seeing is not ordinary. And we cannot, and somebody talked about legality of ESN. I work with the government. For many years, Eastern governors were begging when they saw these threats coming from IPOB and other militant, young people from the Southeast. They were begging the presidency to allow them to form something that looked like a Hizbah in the north. But the presidency refused. They refused to allow them to form something like regional police or vigilante. But not now, just recently, because of the threats that Nnamdi Kanu or ESN is giving, that they allow them to, even with supervision of AIG and the rest of them, the IG of police, to form a bubago.
Okay.
So we try to make things legal. It's difficult for us to get things done legally in the present day Nigeria, especially with the use of the 1999 Constitution.
Okay, we thank you. I don't know whether we realize that where we are going with this discussion, because the issue now boils down to, okay, if you accept there is a threat of Fulani herdsmen taking over some areas, going into farmlands, destroying farm crops, or even killing some people in Ebonyi State, and then also further threats of further invasion. If you accept that invasion, that theory that there is a Fulani agenda, would you now say that IPOB is right to form ESN with the sole agenda of going into the forest to counter that threat? Mr. Eluchie, yeah, Mr. Eluchie, we'll now come back to you because we'll now come back to you. That's the question. This question is meant for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me just first of all address what Sani said. He was trying to be very smart by how. When he said ESN is not under legally recognized and blah, blah, blah. The fact is the presence of the Fulani herdsmen militia in our bushes legitimizes the ESN presence. So on that score alone, I applaud Nnamdi Kanu and his colleagues for setting that up because it's to counter the militancy of the herdsmen, which the government has closed eyes to. And they closed eyes, they shut their eyes to it because virtually every DPO, it's either a DPO or a DCO in the Southeast is from the Fulani. So no matter what you do, these Fulani herdsmen who kill and commit atrocities get away with it. On the issue of Islamization and Fulanization, they are one and the same. I will encourage us to look at the larger picture. The larger picture is not just Nigeria. Across West Africa, about 6-7 countries have Fulani heads of state. And they're not majority in any of these countries. In fact, the only country where the Fulanis are in majority is in Guinea, Equatorial Guinea. And the people in that area have vowed never to allow the Fulanis to become their president because they know their antecedents. But in other countries where they're not even in majority, in Niger, in Mali, in Guinea-Bissau, you have them all over there. So it's an agenda that is ongoing. Islam is only used as a tool to perpetuate this Fulanization agenda. And you see the Ruga, they have been very realistic and they are not joking about it. So if anybody is misguided or doesn't know it, the eye should be clear that yes, indeed, there is an agenda and it's ongoing. And if you do not raise up on time and address it, it will overwhelm you. With regards to what our governors are doing, virtually all the governors in the Southeast.
Before we go to what the governors are doing now, I think you've addressed the question whether the formation of ESN is now justified.
No, yes, I said it was to counter the same illegality of the Fulani headsmen.
Okay, but is there a threat? Is there a threat? Because you were slightly saying something. Is there a threat? Is ESN a threat to peace in Igbo land, or is it?
Good. Now, what I'm saying, you see, because it is not, the structure is not formalized, it's not known to even the leaders in the Southeast. When I say leaders, I'm not talking of the political leaders. I'm talking of even the town union leaders. They are not aware of what the ESN operates. A lot of things are going wrong with it. So if the young man who has initiated it can make it known to the leaders on ground, then it can be admitted. But it is a necessary response to the criminality of the Fulani herdsmen in the bushes, in our bushes, and it's all over.
But is there a threat? Because is there a threat? The other day we have General Omahe on one of the platforms. He was vehement that ESN is a threat to peace in Igbo land. Is it a threat or is it a good thing?
Certainly not a threat. The threat to peace in Igbo land are the governors who have imposed themselves on the system, is the mannerisms of the federal government to try to force the Southeast to do what they don't want to do, which is to accede their lands to these foreigners. So it is ESN per se is not a threat to peace.
Okay, so someone has told us to beware that this is how somebody here told us to beware that this is how Boko Haram started in the Northeast. Do you share that fear?
No. I mean, these are totally two different. One is to preserve and to protect the population. Boko Haram set out for one agenda, Islamization. I mean, it was a jihad. Boko Haram was a jihadist. No.
Originally, Boko Haram has nothing to do with the Fulani. Originally, Boko Haram started as a group of people protesting against the corruption of their governors.
No, that is the first thing. Does not have to do with the Fulani. Boko Haram is not populated by the Fulani.
Exactly. So, but initially, when they started, it was a religious movement simply saying that the political elites are corrupt.
Agreed.
Yes, and that is how they started.
Yes.
But eventually, we have now seen them mutate into being a terrorist organization.
No. But this good. I mean, I agree. But you see, ESN operates in a different framework, a different area. The South, the level of lack of illiteracy, the level of deprivation in the Northeast is horrendous.
Okay, please, those raising up their hand, I'll come back to you. I want this point. at our own time, we cannot be. You said don't play that video. Listen to the first 12 minutes of Nnamdi Kanu's April 22nd broadcast.
12 minutes.
He has now said that ESN has now moved. He has now moved down to declaring war against three sets of people. First, all the Southeast governors. Two, the army and police in Igbo land. Three, anybody giving accommodation. That is, if you are in Igbo land, you have a Fulani or as your tenant, that you are in trouble. That is the stage where ESN is now.
I will urge you not to play that kind of program announcement there, because it's, where is the man saying this? You are somewhere in London and you are raising fire. Come into this country and do that. You cannot be somewhere else and endangering the lives of others. That is
let's take questions. Let's take questions or comment from Casey, and then we go back to Casmir. Casey, can you please unmute yourself, and then Emmanuel after you.
Okay, thank you very much. Just to to support what Eluchie has just said. Now, remember Edwin Clark said...
We're not seeing your face, so why...
Okay, are you seeing me now?
Yes, very good.
Okay, yeah. Remember what Edwin Clark said maybe last year or thereabout, that if you go to any LPC, in Port Harcourt, it's like in the north. So you see that so many, maybe, I wouldn't know whether they are almost Fulani, but they're all from the north. You see, now if you look at the DSS during before the removal of Daura, they said when they were recruiting, only Katsina alone, 50 people were recruited from the Katsina, more than the entire southeast. So it's domination everywhere. Okay, go to the ministers and other federal government presenters. They're all being dominated by Fulanis. So it's both, both occupation and domination, whatever. That's what's going on. That's why you can never see them arrest any Fulani with a gun. You can never see them even do nothing. When people even arrest them, the army and the police will go after the villagers. You see, the Fulanis are compensated when they destroy people's crops, or maybe by accident they kill a cow. It becomes a problem for the villagers. So what is going on here? Is it not occupation? That is it. That's what I want to say, just to support Eluchie mainly. Thank you.
Thank you. Then, Emmanuel, can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Please unmute Emmanuel, please. He's speaking. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. As regards what is going on in Nigeria at the moment, we should all wake up and smell the coffee. This is not the time to be speculating if there's an agenda or there's no agenda. This is total agenda. There's no two ways about it. When Buhari came into power, Erdogan of Turkey visited him almost a week or thereabout when Buhari was sworn into power. What did they discuss? They didn't tell us. We know the antecedents of Erdogan of Turkey and how Turkey was Islamized. Okay? That one apart. There was a report that Erdogan, was part of the people that was sponsoring Boko Haram in Nigeria by a foreign media. I don't know if any of you saw it. That one apart. Look at Buhari's appointment. Muslim, Northern Muslim, everywhere, from the military to the parastatals. What does that tell you? So there is an agenda of Islamizing Nigeria. Don't make mistake about it. When Buhari opened our borders to Fulani from all over West Africa, from wherever they are coming from, to enter Nigeria, for what purpose? That is the question we should be asking ourselves. To serve what purpose? These people, they have no skills, they are not educated, to come and do what in Nigeria? That is the question we should be asking. The media in Nigeria are not helping matters. Okay. They don't do investigative journalism. All they do there is to open up their mouth and be talking whatever they like. So that one apart. The issue of ECN having legality or whatever legality or not to carry arms. The Fulani herdsmen who gave them the authority or the legality to carry arms and be killing people and be raping women and pillaging everywhere. That's the question I'm throwing to that gentleman that said the legality of ECN. ECN are just there to protect their people from these Marudas. How can you come to my land, kill me, rape my women, and you expect me to fold my arms? Nnamdi Kanu has been shouting to secure our land since 2014. That gentleman, I give him respect. He has a thought eye, he can see the future. Some of us didn't see it. I was one of those that was castigating him, calling him miscreants and all that. But today, he has proven us to, wrong. He's right in what is happening before us today.
Okay.
The Southeast governors should wake up and stop being foolish. They
exactly.
are very, very foolish.
I thank you very much.
And secure their people. That is their primary role as governor, to protect the lives and properties of their people. They are not doing it. They're afraid of Fulani. Why are they afraid of Abuja?
We'll come back to you now.
They are the governors of southeastern Nigeria, for crying out loud.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. That is exactly the point you're moving into. Now we are moving to the final aspect of this discussion, the role of the governors. Remember our team is Southeast governors gone into hiding because after the April 22nd speech by Nnamdi Kanu directing their members to go after all the governors and kill them, and then the attack on Hope Uzodimma's house, then further violence in some other areas, we learned that Southeast governors, in fact, Hope Uzodimma, I don't know whether some people say he ran to India, some people say he ran to the United States, but I think someone said no, he's still in Abuja, but he cannot go back to Imo State. He cannot sleep in Owerri at night. So we now move to the governors. What are the governors doing, and what should they be doing at this point? Let's start with Mr. Nwafor. Southeast governors, where are they? What are they doing about this challenge?
My brother, I must tell you, it's almost becoming late. Almost becoming late. Things have really gone too bad. But I think at this stage, just the mother of Ikonso is what is the, I don't know, in our place they say that there's nothing you don't know how to do. Only death. You put it on the ground. But even this death now is like it is holding us at the truth.
How?
Because somebody has been murdered, somebody has been killed, and he has a group, and the group now felt it was one of the governors that brought the soldiers that murdered this young man. Now, if this young man was not murdered, we would have been talking about how to bring the governors to maybe use the ESM structure and then form the whatever name they're talking about. But now there is a kind of deviation that somebody has been killed in line of duty. Now, and this person was murdered because of one rule of one of the governors. I didn't mean that it was an individual. It would have been a different thing. But one of the governors is deeply involved now. My brother, it's not going to be that easy. If I tell you that you just go and arrange them and come and back, it may not be that easy. Because even when Yusuf died from the BH element, there was that promise of 200 million. I don't know how much. I think they were paid. About good luck paid that time. But still, it didn't stop what eventually happened. So what I would suggest is that this is the time for, there are eminent leaders, people like Emeka Anyokudem, people like, there are people that may come in, not these governors now, for now, that they should just wait. Let these people that have some kind of legitimacy between maybe.
So are you suggesting that the authorities should go cap in hand and be begging IPOB on behalf of the governors?
It has, listen, they have killed somebody. They have killed somebody illegally, which was caused by one of them. It can't be that easy. So even if you go means going cap in hand, which go cap in hand. People go cap in hand begging terrorists. People go cap in hand begging bandits.
And you think that will work?
It will work. Let us go back cap in hand, even genuflecting, even lying down, we should go and beg. because because the damage has been done. And it's human life we're talking about here. Not even another person, but their commander. There's a way that they see these things. You understand?
Mr. Eluchie, what do you think?
Okay, cap in hand and beg.
I thank you. Mr. Eluchie, what do you think?
Yes, I think the governors in the Southeast are basically, and they know it, they are illegitimate authorities. I mean, they don't have the backing of the people. Virtually all the governors in the Southeast owe their allegiance not to the people or the voters in their states, but to one godfather or the other in Abuja or wheresoever. That is why once there is, and look at each of them. Look at what their mannerisms. When there was some killings in Enugu State, the governor Ugwuanyi declared a fasting, and the next day he was seen in Abuja feasting. Look at Ebonyi State that condones killings in his backyard, and then the moment the people that are killed react, he invites the military. Or is it in Imo State where the governor opened his mouth and said he invited the military to come and kill his people? Or so all the governors, without exception, in the Southeast are basically illegitimate. They derive their authority not from the people, but from one other person or the other outside the Southeast. So they basically have no role. That is why it is in the best interest of the Southeast that the entire, even the constitution that elected these men into office needs to be scrapped. And that is why we keep on advocating for the restructuring, renegotiation of this country, because the ground norm, the basis, democracy has not worked for the Southeast for the past, since 1999 when we entered democracy. So they need to really, if they need to be relevant, they need to cleanse themselves. And like the captain just said, when they have ventured into killings, blood is involved, it becomes very much more difficult for these governors to even begin to cleanse themselves.
I don't even know, because to support what you're saying, the Kano's emergency broadcast 2 days ago expressed so much anger on the killing of this Ikonso of a guy. He said that fire and brimstone will rain. That there is no...
If you realize, the Ikonso guy was killed early in the morning. The attack on the governor's house was spontaneous. It was not even a planned attack. The IPOB members or the ASM, whatever, they virtually moved from the point of the murder of this Ikonso to the governor's house to destroy the house. So it was not even a planned attack. And the governors themselves know they don't hold legitimately. They know it. That's why even in the way they talk to the people, the governors will summon the traditional rulers, destroy the town unions. There is a lack of nexus, connection between the governors in the Southeast and the people. So, and the system knows this. That is why usually the system uses these governors against young people. No sane governor in any democracy will say he ordered the army to come and attack the people. And the irony of it is even this: the governor could not even have ordered. A state governor in Nigeria cannot tell a corporal, whether a police or army man, where to stand, because you are a chief secretary of a state in name, but in reality you don't have a command of anybody. So why will a governor make such ridiculous comments? Is it to impress his masters in Abuja, or to tell the people that he's in sync with the people in the state? So the governors are one of the huge problems, and let us not just call it the governors. It is the structure of the country that needs to be rejigged for it to have any meaningful impact on the Southeast. And the clamor is not just in the South. I think basically the whole Nigeria has agreed that we have a fraudulent structure in Nigeria. Our constitution is a fraud. The population is a fraud. The territory is a fraud. So what else is remaining? Let us decide and collapse this fraud and see whether we want to stay back together as one entity or as a loose federation. That is the way forward from all this.
Someone has just posted that we should ask all Southeast governors to resign.
Resign, and then who will replace them? I mean, look at it. You see, in this, I don't know about that. In Imo State, they have this very funny structure. They have what they call the apex leaders. These are maybe most times they are scumbags who just got money from somewhere. They still don't have a connection with their people. So what I'm trying to say is, when these governors resign, who would step in next under this same structure created by this Nigerian constitution? It's still people of their ilk, people of their same character. So we have it's a huge problem that the way forward is actually to entirely forget about this Nigerian constitution and then come back and restructure and then know what the way forward. Even when we use the word restructure, people should not confuse it.
All right.
If people cannot restructure, then we all go our different ways. But we can this way because we are retrogressing as a people and we need to move forward.
Yeah, you are now going to the long-term solution. Thank you very much. Yeah. Maybe we'll have that discussion and give it a separate topic on its own.
I understand.
Yeah, Sani, let's come back to you now. You have had the submissions, and do you agree with the equation of ESN, the way it started, and Boko Haram in the Northeast? You have told us that the people in the north have already suffered a lot.
Exactly.
For more than a decade now. And then that the East, Southeast should pray for such a thing not to even germinate at all.
Exactly.
So what do you think the governors, the political leaders of the Southeast should be doing at this point?
At this point in time, they need to fish out the perpetrators of all this crime, be it IPOB or the bandits called the Fulanis. They should first detect who is responsible for all this jailbreak, police station bombings, breakage, and so on and so forth. Because that is the basic, that's the primary problem. Let's source out what is the primary problem. Because if not, they will just be accusing either the Fulani or the IPOB without knowing the person, the causative agent of the problem. When the person is detected, two things are involved. It is either he is arrested and tried in a competent court of law, or a negotiation should be tabled in order to find a lasting solution. Because even during the World War, after everything, they had to come back and negotiate in order to find a lasting peace. So now, finally, we know Nigeria is, we had a marriage of inconvenience. So we have to find a way to live either conveniently or for everyone to go on his own way separately, but peacefully. Myself, I don't also support Nigeria continue going as a one, because there are other countries that are not even up to Imo State, but it is a sovereign country. So Nigeria can also do this. And if we are to do this, we should do it peacefully, either through referendum or through legislation.
So do you think such balkanization will solve the problem of security in Nigeria?
Yes, of course. Because if we have this balkanization, no one will be accusing Fulani, because the Fulani will no longer be in the southeast. And even if they are to be in the south, they have to own a kind of
Chief CBN on Wasanya, please, can you unmute yourself?
Nigeria as a nation has passed to be a kind of radical of killing people anyhow. While hunger, there's no justification, there's no reason in any group or any person will be killing each other. Buying weapons from the Western world or whatsoever where they are buying it is creating more problem to ourselves. The poverty in the country, in Nigeria, affects other African nations. We have to think, supporting one person or the other person or the other group. The issue of this killing of terrorism started far back as about 2012, even during the time of Jonathan. But it was going gradually, small, and now it continues. The reason is this: some people keep quiet when it started. There's a proverb in our Igbo language. It said, it means, because of other people who doesn't understand, means any person who see a fowl using leg to destroy shit, pursue it away, because you don't know who will get the feet or who it will be the share. The real truth of the fact means that if any person or persons or group, no matter your power, notice that killing of any kind, should put hand and say it is not good. The problem of Nigeria is strongly based on the recycled politicians Nigeria have. The poverty. They feel that using 20 vehicles or armored cars or even Nigerian government or state governments importing arms to stop crime, it will never, never, ever stop crime. This type of thing going on because the people doesn't know the value of life. Somebody who is hungry and very angry, haven't eaten 2, 3, 4 days, is ready to die with the peanuts.
So, Chief, do you think that ESN, IPOB, will help to bring security to Igbo land, or do you think it's jeopardizing security of lives and property in Igbo land?
IPOB, which IPOB? Because there are so many IPOB or so many Afra agitation.
The one led by the IPOB that is led by Mazen Namdekan.
That's a group of criminals and fraudsters, gangsters. They are the cause of the problem of Nigeria, of the people, not Nigeria. The Nigerian government misunderstands them. With the open mouth, fugitive Nnamdi Kanu is making, and the vulnerable people believe in him, thinking that he's somewhere. Nnamdi Kanu destroyed the political class of Igbo people or Eastern Zone. Quote me anywhere, any place. The people who are ignorant are following him because he's shouting and making noise.
But okay. Do you agree, when we were having this discussion, do you believe that there are some Fulani herdsmen who live in the forest, destroying people's crop, and even sometimes killing some people in Ebonyi State, who Nnamdi Kanu said that the reason why he formed ESN to counter them? Do you believe that there is a threat from this Fulani?
Wait. From the childhood I grew in Nigeria, the Fulani people, because of ignorance, are taking their cattle and cow, going in the forest, traveling, use it to destroy the crops of people. Before the killings, and because if anywhere their cow and when they destroy the crop of other people, they get angry.
But now we are now having reports of herdsmen who have killed farmers, who have abducted, who kidnapped in some areas of Nigeria.
I condemn it 100%. I'm not in support of that. That is what I said.
So do you think that do you think that we need ESN to counter them?
No. ESN are hunters and butchers. They are killing cow. They are selling and eating. They are not security people. They are not capable. They don't have anything unless few of them who is ex-criminals who might get arms from the so-called, they say, is not real army. Who given them? Nnamdi is not even in Nigeria. He's not even a Nigerian, according to him. He said he's a foreigner. He said he come from Jew. He's a Jewish. And most of his followers said they are not Nigerians. And he used his mouth, said that he's pursuing the not real Nigerian soldiers. Who give him the authority? How do he know the real Nigerian soldiers and real Nigerian police?
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you.
It doesn't make sense.
Thank you for that point. Let's now take some other contributions from Emmanuel. Back to you before we go back to our guest, and then we start rounding it up. Emmanuel, please, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, gentlemen. We are all, interested in finding lasting peace across the country. That is our primary goal, okay?
Yes.
And for achieve that peace, let me speak for Igbo land. Going forward, we need to find a way to negotiate with IPOB. The federal government should come down from the high horse and find a way to dialogue with IPOB, be it in Nnamdi Kanu or whoever. Because the northern leaders, including Buhari himself, they negotiate with Boko Haram, pay the bandits billions of naira, the ATLA and all those kind of group, even enlist Boko Haram, so repentant group into the army. So in the same vein, I'm suggesting that the Southeast governors should clamor for IPOB amnesty. They should grant IPOB amnesty, remove them from terrorists, whatever list they put there, because IPOB wasn't a terrorist organization to start with. When they started, they were clapping on the street, carrying their flag, calling for referendum. They have never killed anybody. They were the ones receiving bullets from the military, from the police, and they condoned it for a long period of time until now they said enough is enough. If they kill us, we kill them. That is where we are today. So that's one apart. There are certain people in Igbo land that if we really want peace, they can talk to IPOB group to listen or come to the round table to discuss going forward. And federal government on their own should be thinking about restructuring the country. This is the yearning of the people. It's either we restructure now or we face secession. It's as simple as that. They have to choose one. Restructure or secession. There's no two ways about it. Yoruba people are clamoring for secession. Igbo people the same thing. Middle Belt the same thing.
Okay, Mr. Manuel, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Someone has just posted that, you know, when Sani compared IPOB to Boko Haram, some people said no, that the agenda is different. Now, someone has just posted that IPOB's sole agenda is a separate land for Biafrans, a separate country for Biafrans. In the same manner that Boko Haram started saying, give us our own Sharia caliphate. And they didn't start killing people. They were just preaching, talking, campaigning, until their leader was killed. And when Yusuf was killed, they now turned violent. So he's now saying, okay, IPOB also started campaigning for a separate land for Biafrans. Like you said, then they were not killing people before. They were clapping hands, going along the street. Until last week, Ikonso was killed. Nanikano gave a broadcast on April 22nd. Because Ikonso was killed, fire and brimstone, kill all governors, kill Hope Uzodimma, kill Obiano, kill Omahe, kill every soldier and army you see abducting people in the street. There will be curfew. Some people say, nah, they can give us order. Once you give us order, we'll march on Afsoville. Will give. So, is there a similarity with the way IPOB is developing to the way Boko Haram developed?
All in this country, when Boko Haram, they were doing whatever they were doing. In short, when Obasanjo came into power, Yerima, was it Shetima or Yerima, started Sharia for whatever purpose left for him to answer. Okay? Obasanjo ignored Shetima. They were doing their Sharia, whatever. Then this Yusuf came up and said he's Boko Haram against Western education, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, they killed Yusuf. And that was when the whole hell was break loose in that area of our country. So today, we are still fighting Boko Haram. Buhari himself, El-Rufai himself, when Jonathan was in power, we all knew the statement Buhari made, that attack on Boko Haram is attack against the North. So these people should stop deceiving Nigerians. Okay? They should stop deceiving Nigerians. We are all learned. They should stop playing our intelligence.
Okay,
you cannot be condoning and dining with Boko Haram and everything. Now it has gotten out of hand, and everybody is bearing the cost.
All right, let's move on because our time is. Thank you very much, sir. We thank you very much for your contributions this evening. Up to 3 times now, I think we are very. We appreciate the points you've made. Before we go back to our guests to start rounding up, Mr. Onebu, please. Do you have a question or comment? And then we go to our guests' final submissions.
I have a question, please. And my question goes on from what Mr. Elombah said. He said that during the time of Obasanjo, all the key posts are held by Yorubas. And during the time of Jonathan, the same thing to the or the Eastern or the Westerners or the Jaws or whoever is there in the area. And now we are seeing the same thing in Buhari. Then my question is, what does this thing said about one Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Let's go to our guest. I'm only a moderator. Mr. Eluchie, do we start from you?
Okay, thank you very much. I don't agree with that, your summation that during Obasanjo everything was in the West, or during Jonathan everything was in the East. Look at, with the facts are there, the figures are there. There was an attempt to balance the appointments using the federal character principle. But all this went into hot air when Buhari came into office. He addressed the issue of federal character of impunity. He totally disregarded it. When you hear that you have 10 ministers from across the northern states, they are all Fulanis. They are, I mean, even from Gombe, Sokoto, Kwara, the ministers are Fulanis, not even the other tribes in those areas. So it's not the same. But with regards to the issue of how we want to advance, I think the bottom line and the consensus we are getting from here is that there is need to actually restructure this country and to address the structure. That is just the way forward. We can't continue in this pretense. And with regards to IPOB being a threat to the Southeast governors, my conclusion is that the Southeast governors, they lack legitimacy, and they have tomorrow they keep on they owe allegiance to people outside their state, not to their state. And then as long as that scenario continues, there will always be problems. And in as much as IPOB has done very well in terms of grassroots mobilization, the trend towards terrorism is uncalled for. And I have had people trying to equate IPOB with Boko Haram. It's unfortunate, because the real essence, which I understand IPOB stands for, is self-determination of the Igbo race and to avoid marginalization. When you now begin to equate it with a group, with terrorist groups that does beheading, bombings, then you see that there has been a failure of leadership, either on the part of Nwafor, Kano, or whoever is trying to lead that group. There is a mainstream Igbos who believe in discussing this issue, using that to restructure and renegotiate. And where that fails, then disintegration becomes inevitable. And like Sani said, many European countries have populations of less than 5 million. So Imo State is qualified to be a country. Anambra is qualified to be a country. And you can imagine if these states are countries, how Nigeria will progress. Those who want to prioritize worshiping, going to pilgrimages, let them keep on going to pilgrimages. They are okay. And then those who want to advance to develop scientifically, let them advance scientifically. To each his own. So let us be more serious with ourselves at this country, because Nigeria has been retrogressive in the past decades. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Casmir, what do you think?
I don't agree with the question. Because if you watch Obasanjo's government from the Southwest, and when he came in, he did not try to if not, he would have cleared this whole Southwest road and everything. He was a nationalist. If you look at Goodluck came, the Amajiri schools and everything. Goodluck was almost working, doing everything, mainly in the north. Our Ibadan was not even treated, the roads are not even treated. What you just have was appointments. So, but when you come to Buhari's era, oh boy, it was total glaring modernization everywhere. It wasn't like that under the former two presidents. Even Yar'Adua was not like that. Yar'Adua would have been Nigeria's best president. Unfortunately, that came because I don't know why good people don't last. So I don't agree that the other presidents we are doing as per Yoruba as per. This is why this insecurity became very unbearable in this era. If you watch Goodluck and Obasanjo, even though you hear myself about it, they are not that critical. There was no reason they should have used him to do anything, because the government was being fair. So they were kind of timid. But this one was total blank to everybody. Both the West that we thought they were even enjoying are even jumping on.
All right, our time is
everywhere. So it is the government with the government attitude that gave rise to this insecurity.
All right, we thank you very much, because we soon round up. Mr. Iheme, please. That is the last question we are taking from the public. Mr. Ikenna, Iheme, please. Can you unmute yourself? Ikenna, Iheme, please.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please, I'm interested to talk about what is going on in Imo State based on the 5 Eastern governors by the threat. You know, for example, in Imo State, when you look at the scenario that is going on there, you find out that if you look at it very well, the governor, the sitting governor, is the etiology of the problem. So, and you know, you are there to protect the masses and the property, but the whole thing goes the other way around. You as if you are there ruling out of malice and hatred, which is not governance. And in generally, it seems as if there is somebody that is somewhere trying to, you know, go for malice and hatred. But the truth is this is when you are assumed as a governor, you are there for all. You are both those that voted you in and those that didn't vote you in, you are there for everybody. No, it's not everybody must love you, everybody mustn't hate you, and no, not everybody that will vote you in. So when you look at things, you know, our problems, especially in the Southeast, when it comes to our political leaders.
What happened? Okay, we are no longer hearing you. My final question to our guest tonight is,
you know, the way we do it in our land, we do it to the detriment. My question there is this. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, conclude, please. Yeah.
Yeah. My question there is this. As it is now, we need to put all measures in place. What can we do to make sure we collapse the Bubago to join the ESN to solve this situation of things?
Well, I thank you very much. It appears you have stolen my thunder. So I will take this your question now. Is it possible to coalesce ESN and the Bubago to merge them together? That is one question. Secondly, should the federal government negotiate within Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB? Please take these two questions together and then we'll end the discussion. Let's start with who spoke last? Mr. Eluchie. Okay, Mr. Eluchie, please.
Okay. Well, you cannot really merge those two out because the basics, their objectives appear to be divergent. The embargo was just like something that was mentioned on the spur of the moment by the governors. It was not even well thought out. I mean, if you ask them to tomorrow, what is the modus operandi? What is what is the structure? They have no idea. They were just like, we had to say something after the meeting with and they mentioned something. And what they mentioned about the embargo is that it will still be under the command of the Central Police. It is meaningless. If you have to subject the so-called embargo to the same DPOs and DCOs, the divisional commands of the police force, which we have all over the Southeast, it amounts to nonsense because they assist those police. The Nigerian police is an occupational police force in the Southeast, but it's not the people's police. It works most vehemently against people. They extort, they malign, they kill.
Okay, the second question is, should the federal government and the Southeast governors negotiate within the Kanu's IPOB?
Well, it is not a matter of negotiating within the Kanu's IPOB. There has to be a framework whereby the entire structure of the country will have to be renegotiated. It's not just the structure of one man, because the quest for self-determination, for sake of acquisition for the Southeast, predates any of us and will continue even after all of us are gone. So when you now go with somebody because he shot a few guns here and there, you are now acquiescing to violence. So I don't think it's just to negotiate with a particular group, but rather to agree that there is to restructure and renegotiate Nigeria, and then create a platform where all interested parties, including, but not restricted to Mr. Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB, all other interested forces are also welcome to that framework, because it's the future of the Igbo race, the future of the Southeast is not aligned to any singular individual, because we predate that individual and put it was before and will be after him. So that's my own view. There is need to negotiate, but not with any specific. They are abundant. Ohaneze is there. The body of President Generals of the Southeast is also there. So that's actually the most representative group in the Southeast. The body of President Generals who were elected from the various town unions.
Okay.
traditional groups we have in the South. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Captain Nwafor, should the federal government negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB 1? And do you think the Southeast governors should merge ESN and Ebubag?
Let me take the last one first. I think that is what should have been done before now, because when the governors announced Ebubag, there was no structure. So they have nothing. It was just a kind of spontaneous, like the last speaker said. It was a kind of, they were kind of stampeded into that just to make statements as if they are doing something. So it's something that they will practically do. It's not a matter of collapsing. It's just a name. Even if it means removing a bag and giving it a different name, but not ESN, let them work it out. It doesn't mean they have to fall in, they have to collapse it, because there's no structure. Let them use the one we have already that are working. Let ESN lead the way. Then the issue of federal government negotiating, the IPOB is not a terrorist organization like Boko Haram. Their objective is known. They are a self-determinating group, determination group. They have told you what they want, and what they want can be done without even consulting them. That's what I'm saying. There are two ways you can negotiate with them regarding the violence you have meted to their members. That one is a different thing, maybe to calm them down. But if you're talking about negotiating with, on their demand, the mission of the country, there's no need. Everybody in this country is saying that this Nigeria as it stands now is a fraud. It's not the best way to continue. The UK that even governed us, go to UK, they have Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and England. They're not one, that is not one country. They have other nations. So Nigeria should be broken into that kind of formula. We should have Biafra Football Club playing against Oduduwa in the Nations Cup. They have Wales playing against Scotland. That should be, that thing will enable each region to develop. So you don't need to go and back Nnamdi Kanu to discuss this. It's a even 2014 Assembly Conference, they were all there. So the government knows what to do if they want to kind of move the country forward.
All right,
but
well,
they can negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu on the issue of the violence and deaths meted to members, because there are two different things now. We have gone beyond talking about we're talking about the killings, the murders, the people that have deprived their children, people that have deprived their, so there are two things. Yes, they can negotiate on that angle to calm the nerves and to sort out things that they were done, that have been done. But the other ones, the country is there, let them call the regions, the federating regions, and discuss the country.
We thank you very much, Captain Casmir Nwafor, retired, for being with us tonight. It's been a very, very lively and interesting discussion. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
But also thank you, Mr. Eze Eluchie Esq, for making time out of your very busy schedule to shed light on some of these issues. We're happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.